Are you afraid of the dark? It might seem like a silly question, but once in your life you probably wondered what evil things lurked in the shadows. And no matter how much grown-ups assured you that there was nothing there, it was obvious that adults had spent a lot of energy and a lot of time inventing things to push the dark back into the corners. Darkness is not just a thing of our childhood superstitions. Now we're told that science has its dark spots too. Dark matter and dark energy, these are terms we use to fill the gaps for the effects that we can see or measure, even though the causes are still unknown. Likewise, politics has its own dark forces, and they're far more real than anything you feared as a kid. It's called dark money, and it's how secret donors get their funds to political candidates and causes without you knowing about it. One of these you might be familiar with already. They're called political action committees, or PACs. Initially, they were a way for lots of people with similar interests to pool their resources together and affect political change. But there was a more sinister use for PACs. Sometimes a particular donor might be unpopular with one group of voters or another, their own sort of political boogeyman, and it would be suicide for a candidate to accept money from them directly. So politicians and their benefactors invented a system called PAC-to-PAC contributions. It worked like this. First, a donor would direct their contributions to several different PACs. Often these PACs had names that had no relationship whatsoever with their contributors' intentions. A polluter could contribute to an environmental PAC, or a union could give to a business PAC. And at the same time one donor made contributions to those PACs, others were doing the same. Some of them you might consider politically nefarious, others completely harmless. From there, the consultants who controlled those PACs would shuffle the money between them in a never-ending shell game. The cash, at least on paper, would become what accountants call fungible, meaning it was all basically one indistinguishable pool and impossible to trace back to its source. If this seems like money laundering, that's kind of the point. Candidates could take cash from unpopular donors and no one would be the wiser but them. You might have noticed I've been using the past tense. That's because in 2010, something happened. In Alabama, a Republican majority took control of the legislature, and in one of its first acts, it banned PAC-to-PAC transfers. So did everyone live happily ever after? Hardly. Something even darker took the place of PACs. They're nonprofits called 501c4s, and their effect on campaign finance transparency is growing. Under IRS rules, 501c4s were meant to exclusively promote social welfare. But we're not talking about money for poor people. You see, because the IRS later interpreted exclusively to mean primarily, these nonprofits have become a conduit for political action and campaign cash. And in recent years, the IRS has been so lax about policing these nonprofits, exclusively has all but come to mean some. In practice, 501c4s work similar to PACs. They have names that can conceal their real purpose. Donors put money in and the nonprofits push the money out. A 501c4 can't fund a candidate directly, but it can buy advertising that criticizes a candidate on a particular issue, or promotes a candidate's record on another. Also, their lobbying power is unlimited. But there's one major difference between 501c4s and PACs. Unlike PACs, 501c4s can keep their donors completely secret. Whoever's pumping money into them is impossible to see, meaning that that candidate that you voted for at the ballot box might have received help from someone you absolutely hate, and there's no way for you for anyone else to tell. It's all hidden in the dark. Are you afraid of the dark? If you weren't before, maybe now you should be.